So on we go to Thursday's match in the Cricket World Cup between Afghanistan and West Indies at Headingley. We've been going quite well recently, haven't we, Kev? So let's hope we can keep up the momentum.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. If this podcast was an 80s music festival, we've gone from Bananarama's Cruel Summer and turned into Donna Summer's Hot Stuff in recent times. So hopefully we can keep on going and, well, the final countdown can be really good.
Yeah, the only way is up, isn't it? As Yaz once said. Was that 80s or was that 90s? I can't remember. It was around the borderline, wasn't it? So upwards progression for sure for us recently. But a potentially tricky tie here in Headingley. I say West Indies against Afghanistan. Last chance saloon for either side to get another win on the board. And West Indies the other day lost against Sri Lanka. I've got to say their bowling performance was utter dross. Didn't look interested one bit, did they? And if it wasn't for Pooran, I think they would have been effectively hammered. Do you expect to see a similar sort of West Indies here, or are they going to be up for it more?
Can't see them being any more up for it. That's one thing I will say. They've looked a beaten side for probably 3 weeks now. Probably in fairness, they've looked a beaten side since Coulter twatted them all around Trent Bridge, really, haven't they? Way back when in this tournament. I mentioned the other day, didn't I, that that game was bigger for Sri Lanka than it was for the West Indies because most of the West Indies, or a lot of the West Indies, come towards the end of their ODI career. That's not the case here. Again, the West Indies coming towards the end of their career. Afghanistan very much in the infancy of their career. They've got a lot of young players, a lot of good young players. The likes of Majib, Rashid Khan, who's obviously a superstar, not shown his talent yet in this tournament, but there's still time. Naeeb's fairly young. One or two of the batsmen are going pretty well too. So I think this is a bigger game for Afghanistan. I think it'd be not a travesty if they lose this, if they leave this World Cup without a win, but it would be probably slightly unfair. They've had their chances to win at least 3 games, haven't they? Not taken them, and that's only their own fault. They're Pakistan on toast on Saturday. Should have got over the line in that. Should have beaten Sri Lanka. So last chance saloon for them. But you'd have to say, probably looking at all things being equal, probably their best chance for a victory as well.
Yeah, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at this, aren't they, Afghanistan? This is their chance to get that World Cup victory on the board against, a nation like the West Indies. And you actually think they're going to do it? You're going to back them to win the game, aren't you?
Yeah, well, of course, these two sides were the two teams that came through the qualifier into this tournament, so they met twice in that competition. I guess you can only really take into account the first game between the two, which Afghanistan won by 3 wickets. Low-scoring game, 197 for 8, played 198 for 7. It's a fairly low-scoring game. Yes, it wasn't the West Indies' first team back then, but Chris Gayle did play in that qualifying tournament. So from that point of view, there's nothing coming in really that's going to hurt Afghanistan. Nicholas Pooran didn't play in that, so he would be one for sure. But by and large, everyone who was there is still around the scene for the West Indies. Afghanistan did win the final of that competition as well, but both teams had already qualified from then. There wasn't really playing for anything in that final. So whilst it's nice that they won that from the point of view that we're back in a side that have beaten West Indies twice in competitive action, no more than sort of 15 months ago. It's hard to read too much into that second game, albeit it's just one of those nice things to have on your side.
And you're not bollocksing around with any handicaps here, are you? Straight on the nose.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go on the nose here. We've had a good week, like you say. We've brought ourselves a bet on Afghanistan. You can get 3-1 on Afghanistan still. You could have got a lot bigger before Sri Lanka got stuck into the West Indies earlier in the week. There wasn't really much to like about the West Indies, was there, the other day? Like you said, they were terrible with the ball, very sloppy in the field, not particularly interested with the bat, albeit I've got to say, if I knew Rihanna was in my dressing room, I'd be getting out as quickly as possible too, so I probably can't hold that against them too much. But yeah, their interest has gone completely, really, since they lost to New Zealand in that close game that they probably should have won. it's becoming a bit of a theme for them, isn't it? Getting close in run chases and losing. And who knows, that might be the case here. I think Afghanistan got two massive advantages in this game, Steve. Firstly, they've played at Headingley. I'd probably say of all of the venues in this competition, Headingley's probably been the one that has taken a little bit more getting used to than the others. The others have all had a certain flatness to the wicket, a certain predictability to it, but Headingley just been a little bit different, hasn't it? It's very tricky when England played Sri Lanka here. Both Pakistan and Afghanistan struggled with the bat as well. In fact, Pakistan really struggled to get the Afghanistan spinners away, and if Gulbuddin hadn't made the crazy decision of bringing himself back in for the final 2 overs, you probably don't see Pakistan winning that game. So hopefully he'll captain a little bit smarter in this game. If the spin is doing well, hopefully he'll stick with it. And yeah, all things being equal, I'm happy to take the 3-1 on Afghanistan to win. If you want to play safe, then there's plenty of big handicap lines around that I fully expect them to cover. But how many times this tournament have we backed a handicap and the team's won? So this time I'm doing it the other way around. I've brought myself a bet on Afghanistan at 3s, and I'm happy to take it.
How do you see this? Do you see this being a high-scoring game? I mean, the wicket at Headingley hasn't actually played that great, has it? Or is it going to be more sort of lower-scoring affair, tense sort of thing, where wickets fall and it's hard to get the ball away?
Yeah, I can't see it being a high-scoring game. I mean, Afghanistan are going to chuck down 30 overs of real quality spin at the West Indies, aren't they? And West Indies do struggle to face spin, particularly mystery spin. There's 20 overs of that. In fact, they may even throw down more than that. Shinwari bowled plenty of leg spinners in the last game, didn't he? Did it very well. So from that point of view, I don't expect West Indies to get away. They're not a side that's going to run singles, are they? Now I think we saw that the other day. They're 4-6 or nothing. Afghanistan, you've got to think that they're going to plod their way through the early overs, aren't they? Get themselves into their innings and then try and build something as it goes along. They've not really threatened 250 in the tournament yet. So no, I don't expect it to be a particularly high-scoring game, particularly with Afghanistan's desperation to win it. It's hard to see either side getting away from the other, really.
You talk about the overs that Afghanistan are going to send down, and you've got a bet in the top Afghanistan bowler market here, haven't you?
I have, yep. Mujibur Rahman, I've seen plenty of him. Steve, he may only be 18, but I've seen an awful lot of him. I'm a Hampshire fan, as you know, as we've alluded to in this podcast before, and he was our T20 overseas signing last season when he was only 17. Didn't go particularly great, but you could clearly tell he's got talent. Then played in the IPL earlier in the year for the Kings 11 Punjab, where he played very well. He was in the same team as Chris Gale on that occasion, so he'll probably know how Gale works, how to get him out. He'll bowl to him straight away, won't he? He's taken the new ball in every game that he's played in this competition. And in those 2 games out in Zimbabwe in the qualifying competition, he was the leading wicket taker in both of them for Afghanistan. 3-4-33 took in the what we'll call competitive game. And then in the final, he bettered that. He went one better, 4 for 43. Top bowling efforts on both occasions, and he got Chris Gale out on both occasions. So yeah, a lot to like about him. He's an off spinner by definition, but he's a risky off spinner. He's got mystery to him. He's got the ball that goes both ways. Whilst Gale is very good, he's not the best reader of spin, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if Mujib gets him early. And if he does, that'll give him the confidence to get stuck into the rest of the left-handers to come. And I could see him being the top wicket taker. I've kind of got a double vested interest in this, because if you think back to our preview podcast, I tipped up Mohammad Nabi to be the top Afghanistan tournament bowler. Well, he's level with Naeeb on wickets, so hopefully Nabi takes more wickets than Naeeb, but hopefully Mujib takes more than both of them combined.
Yeah, that's the ideal scenario, isn't it? So it's Majid, their top Afghanistan bowler. Again, you've got to watch where you.
Yeah, you've just taken the words out of my mouth. I should have said, take this at Betfair, get the dead heat, don't take it at Bet365, because they will pay out on economical bowler. And if Gale does get tucked into him for a couple of overs before Majid gets him, then you're likely to end up with figures of 2 or 3 for 60, as opposed to 2 or 3 for 30.
Now, there wasn't much to like about the West Indies, really, the other day, was there? Apart from Pooran, really. The bowling was very poor. Some of the batsmen were very lacklustre. They have been for quite a while. So, on the face of things, they look like a very difficult side to bet on, but you found a pick involving a West Indies player.
Yeah, a player who I've also taken outright, haven't I, in Sheldon Cottrell. He's much further clear in that market. He leads by 5, so it's going to take something pretty drastic for that to be overturned here. But I like his performance at 32.5 at Bet365. If you look at his last 3 matches, 4 for 56 against New Zealand and 15 runs, 2 for 50 against India and 10 runs, 1 for 69 and 7 runs against Sri Lanka. And he also took a catch in that match, so he's covered it in the last 3 games. Takes the new ball, which is probably what I like. Well, it is what I like. Very good fielder. Probably got the catch of the tournament as an even that catch off of, was it Steve Smith at Trent Bridge? Probably got that to his name. And West Indies aren't batting particularly well, so there's every chance he's going to come in. So stick a wicket, stick a catch, and 3 runs on, and you've got it covered. 2 wickets covers it as well. I just think the line's a little bit too low because he'll bowl at the start, he'll bowl at the death, and Holder will probably bring him back at some point in the middle if there's a partnership as well. Probably been the brightest spot for the West Indies in the entire tournament, actually. Hopefully we'll get a couple more salutes from him in this match.
Okay, Sheldon Cottrell performance over 32.5. And, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I hope there's not going to be any trouble in the stands for this game because I don't know if you were aware, Kev, but there was some incidents in the Pakistan game here against Afghanistan. And there will be an extra police presence at the ground for this game. Don't know what, it always seems to happen. A lot of this happens revolving Headingley in the past. I've known it, where incidents occur. I don't know what it is about this ground, but things like that do happen. And let's hope there's no trouble in that regard. There's still another match to be played here as well. On Saturday, I think it's Sri Lanka against India. So the old Bill have got their hands full.
Yeah, it must be the crap beer that you serve up here, mate. Punter's not happy.
So, I mean, the atmosphere, I think there'll be a decent crowd in, for sure, despite the dead rubber nature of this match. So, and I think Afghanistan will get the crowd as well. From what, from what I know of this area, West Indies are always popular in their own way, though, with their entertaining style. So they're going to have to turn up and play here. Okay, well, that covers this one. We've got a couple of dead rubbers to finish the tournament with. We'll be previewing right to the end, and then the semi-final and final next week. So good luck with these picks, Kev, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, Steve. I'm interested that you said Afghanistan will get the crowd. Haven't West Indies got one of Yorkshire's own playing for them in this match? Are Yorkshire not going to get behind him?
Yeah, we signed Pooran for the T20s, but I mean, the simple fact is I don't think there's going to be that many necessarily Yorkists around here. I think we'll get a lot of sort of different nation supporters, and well, Pooran's not yet played a game for Yorkshire, has he? So it's I'm sure you'll get a good reception, but nothing. I'm trying to think of any West Indians that have played for Yorkshire in recent times. I can't think of any. We certainly haven't had any Afghanistanis yet. So, yeah, I can't think of the last time we actually had a West Indian in any capacity, even for a short stint. But Pooran obviously breaks the mold for that.
Absolutely, yeah, good signing, good player. I guess all the Yorkies are out celebrating their championship win this week, aren't they?
Yes, it was a close win, I think, at Scarborough, and we don't talk about county cricket on here, but it was, I think, a good advertisement for the game. From what I was told, a good wicket, and there's been some close games. Yorkshire have had some very close games this year, actually. They lost a close one against Warwickshire not too long ago as well. But the outgrounds have certainly done well from this Cricket World Cup out around the country, haven't they? Really, especially when now the weather's got settled. It's good. it's good that the art grounds are getting a piece of the action, really. I think towards the end of the summer, there's going to be a lot of worn wickets, which probably plays into what Somerset's hands, doesn't it?
Yeah, one or two up there, Essex as well, yeah.
All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow then. Interesting little conversation at the end, and best of luck again.
Cheers, Steve. All the best, mate.